Welcome back, basketball fans. Today we're diving deep into the Kansas Jayhawks men's basketball program as they gear up for the 2025-26 season. The Jayhawks, a perennial powerhouse in college basketball, are entering a pivotal moment in their storied history. After a disappointing end to the 2024-25 campaign, where they suffered an unexpected first-round exit in the NCAA tournament at the hands of Arkansas, the pressure is on for head coach Bill Self and his staff to turn things around and restore Kansas to its usual championship contending form. This offseason has been one of the most eventful in recent memory for the program. Kansas has experienced significant roster turnover, with several key veterans graduating or moving on, and a number of players entering the transfer portal. At the same time, the Jayhawks have been aggressive in recruiting both high school prospects and experienced transfers, looking to reload rather than rebuild. The arrival of star freshman Darryn Peterson, one of the top recruits in the nation, and a projected future NBA lottery pick, has injected new excitement and high expectations into the fan base. In today's breakdown, we'll explore all the major changes happening in Lawrence. We'll analyze the impact of outgoing players, introduce you to the new faces joining the squad, and discuss the strategic moves Bill Self is making to keep Kansas at the forefront of college basketball. Whether you're a die-hard Jayhawks supporter or just a college hoops enthusiast, you won't want to miss this in-depth look at what's next for one of the game's most iconic programs. Let's get started by examining the key roster changes, the incoming recruiting class, the latest transfer news, and what all this means for the Jayhawks' chances in the 2025-26 season. The 2024-25 season was a tough one for Kansas. Despite entering the year ranked #1 nationally and carrying sky-high expectations, the Jayhawks struggled to find consistency and ultimately stumbled to a first-round exit in the NCAA tournament, falling to Arkansas 79-72. This loss was particularly stinging, as it snapped a 17-game winning streak in tournament openers and marked Kansas's earliest exit in the Bill Self era, with the team earning its lowest NCAA tournament seed under Self. The defeat also meant Kansas failed to advance past the opening weekend for the third consecutive year, a significant downturn from their 2022 national championship run. Throughout the season, Kansas showed flashes of potential, recording notable wins over top teams like Michigan State and Duke. But inconsistency plagued their campaign. They finished 6th in the expanded 16-team Big 12, a result that, while respectable on paper, fell far short of preseason projections and the program's usual standards. ESPN's Myron Medcalf summed up the campaign as far below KU's standard, giving the Jayhawks a D grade and noting that, despite investing heavily in transfers and returning a talented core, the team failed to meet expectations. The end of the season also brought significant roster turnover. Key veterans such as Hunter Dickinson, KJ Adams Jr., DeJuan Harris Jr., and Zeke Mayo either graduated or exhausted their eligibility, leaving major gaps in leadership and production. The transfer portal further thinned the roster as 5 players, including big men Flory Badunga and Zach Clements, wings Rakes Passmore and Rylan Griffin, and point guard Diggy Coit, opted to seek new opportunities elsewhere. As a result, Bill Self was left with a relatively thin group of returning players, primarily guards Elmarco Jackson and Jamari McDowell, along with a promising but untested group of incoming freshmen. To counterbalance these departures, Kansas has been aggressive in the transfer market. The Jayhawks landed Melvin Council Jr., a proven guard from St. Bonaventure, and Trey White, a versatile wing who averaged 10.5 points and 5.5 rebounds at Illinois last season. Additionally, Jaden Dawson, a sharpshooting guard who put up nearly 14 points per game at Loyola Chicago, committed to Kansas, providing a much-needed scoring boost. These additions, while helpful, still leave the team searching for more experience and depth, especially in the front court. Kansas is reportedly still in talks with other transfer portal talents, including former Iowa guard Josh Dix and UCF's Keyshawn Hall, as they look to round out the roster with players who can contribute immediately. The coaching staff is working tirelessly to fill the remaining scholarship spots and ensure the Jayhawks have the depth and talent required to compete at the highest level next season. In summary, the 2024-25 season was a major disappointment for Kansas, marked by unmet expectations, early tournament elimination, and significant roster upheaval. However, The program is moving quickly to rebuild through the transfer portal and incoming recruits, determined to restore its status as a national contender in the 2025-26 campaign. The biggest news for Kansas basketball heading into the 2025-26 season is undoubtedly the arrival of Darryn Peterson, a consensus 5-star recruit and one of the most highly touted prospects in recent memory. Peterson is widely projected to be the #1 overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft, making his commitment to Kansas a monumental coup for the program. Head coach Bill Self has gone so far as to call Peterson the best player he has ever recruited during his tenure at Kansas. A remarkable statement given the caliber of talent that has passed through the program. Peterson is expected to be the cornerstone of the Jayhawks roster next season and will be entrusted with the keys to the team's offense and leadership, signaling a new era in Lawrence, centered around his immense talent and potential. Alongside Peterson, Kansas will welcome 2 other highly rated freshmen who will help bolster the roster's depth and versatility. Bryson Tiller and Seamus Calderon, both 4-star recruits, are expected to contribute primarily at the forward positions. Tiller, ranked number 42 nationally in the 2025 class, enrolled early in December and brings a strong inside presence, while Calderon, ranked number 73 overall, adds athleticism and scoring ability on the wing. These young talents, combined with the incoming transfers and the handful of returning players, form the nucleus of a team that is eager to bounce back from last season's struggles and re-establish itself as a national contender. While the Jayhawks have promising pieces, the roster remains a work in progress. The guard rotation looks solid with Peterson leading the way alongside returning guard Elmarco Jackson and transfer Melvin Council, who brings experience and scoring ability from St. Bonaventure. However, the team could benefit from additional depth at the shooting guard position to provide more balance and defensive versatility. The front court is notably thin, with only a few big men such as Flory Badunga and Bryson Tiller available. This lack of size and depth inside means Kansas will likely continue to target big men in the transfer portal to bolster their interior presence and rebounding, which will be critical for competing in the rugged Big 12 Conference. Despite the significant roster turnover and challenges ahead, Coach Bill Self has expressed confidence in building a competitive and cohesive team. He remains optimistic that the mix of elite talent, experienced transfers, and promising freshmen will allow Kansas to contend for championships once again. Darryn Peterson himself has downplayed concerns about the recent player movement in the transfer portal, emphasizing that such changes are part of the modern college basketball landscape. He believes Kansas remains a premier destination for players looking to compete at the highest level, and is excited about the opportunity to lead the Jayhawks back to national prominence. In summary, the arrival of Darryn Peterson alongside key freshmen and transfers sets the stage for an intriguing 2025-26 season for Kansas basketball. While questions remain about roster depth and front court size, the Jayhawks have the foundational pieces needed to make a strong push in the Big 12 and the NCAA tournament. The coming months will reveal how well these new pieces gel under Bill Self's guidance, and whether this revamped roster can restore Kansas to its traditional place among college basketball's elite programs. Kansas enters the 2025-26 season in what many consider a rebuilding phase. But it is a rebuild filled with high expectations and a renewed sense of optimism. After last season's early and disappointing exit from the NCAA tournament, the Jayhawks are determined to prove that they can return to the elite level of college basketball. The combination of elite talent, including the arrival of star freshman Darryn Peterson, experienced transfers like Melvin Council and Tree White, and a veteran coaching staff led by the legendary Bill Self, creates a strong foundation for Kansas to regain its national prominence. Despite the challenges of significant roster turnover, the program's tradition of excellence and Bill Self's proven ability to develop talent and build winning teams fuels confidence among fans and analysts alike. The pressure is undeniably on to improve on last year's performance, especially in the highly competitive Big 12 Conference, where every game is a battle and the margin for error is slim. Kansas must not only contend with tough conference rivals, but also demonstrate that its new roster can gel quickly and perform under the intense spotlight that comes with being a top-tier program. Fans should keep a close eye on how the new pieces fit together on the court. The integration of freshmen like Peterson, Tiller, and Calderon with transfers and returning players will be critical. Chemistry and cohesion will determine whether this group can live up to the lofty expectations. Additionally, Kansas may continue to explore the transfer portal to fill remaining roster gaps, particularly in the front court, to ensure the team has the depth and versatility needed to compete deep into March. The development of young players will be another key factor. How quickly Peterson adapts to college basketball and assumes a leadership role will set the tone for the entire team. Likewise, the growth of returning guards Elmarco Jackson and Jamari McDowell, along with new contributors, will influence Kansas's offensive and defensive effectiveness. That wraps up our detailed update on the Kansas Jayhawks men's basketball team as they prepare for the 2025-26 season. If you're excited about this new era in Lawrence or have thoughts on the roster moves and team outlook, be sure to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your take. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth college basketball news, analysis, and updates throughout the season. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.